Hey guys, I'm doing my very first Q&A episode today because I received a couple of questions from you about intuitive training and what my thoughts are on that. So stay tuned. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the 180 and 90. Today is day 76. I've got 2 weeks left, 14 days, and then we're going to do my final weigh-in and see how I did on the 90-day program. Now, getting to the matter at hand, we are talking about intuitive training, and I had a couple of questions from some people that were watchers of the show, and they DM'd me and asked me what were my thoughts on intuitive training, so I thought, what a great opportunity to be able to do my very first Q&A episode here and vlog on YouTube. So let's talk about intuitive training. But first of all, let's talk about what happened to me over the last couple of days. So guys, I know that this is a daily vlog and I apologize for not being able to upload anything on Monday and Tuesday, but some things had happened. A family member had injured themselves and it was somewhat of an emergency that kind of halted a lot of things that were going on. Ever since Thanksgiving and the death of our aunt, or Tita Orting, and going to Arizona and dealing with the funeral and putting everything together and all that, it's been one thing after another since then. So it's been a really tumultuous month. So trying to get everything done, kind of just give you a recap over the past couple of days since the last time you heard from me on Sunday. I was able to get in my workout, so I was able to go ahead and squeeze in on Monday glutes, legs, and chest workout, which was great. And I was able to actually start throwing in some thruster deadlifts. Really tired. You can see my form is a little shaky on here. On the thruster deadlifts, I like to go ahead and put no bigger than the 25-pound weights, the quarters, because the size of them is so much smaller than the 45s. So as I load these up, it gives me much greater depth into my glutes, and it forces me to have to really sit back into them and not go too deep, which of course puts a lot more strain on my hip flexors and such. But after doing all the squats that I did and a couple of other big core movements that I was working with through the chest and dips, you know, it was really quite taxing, but it was a great workout and I had a great time with that. Now, coming into today and kind of flowing it with all the other things that I had to do with the emergency in my family, I was able to get those inquiries about intuitive training. So let's get to that and let's talk about answering these questions that I got on intuitive training and what it means, how you can apply it, and what are my thoughts on it in your workouts and in scheduling your workouts throughout the week and the month and the year. Okay guys, so let's get to the whole title of what intuitive training is and where it initially came from. Now, I know it's become kind of like a big buzzword now and a big buzz title, and a lot of people are talking about how intuitive training is the way to go. I started researching more about it because I had heard about it in the circuits and of course along the gyms. But in truth, you know, although it's getting a lot of buzz now and maybe it started picking up at the beginning of 2019, toward the end of 2018, intuitive training has actually been around since the 80s, or at least written on and created, so to speak. So what I was able to get as far as the information on intuitive training, I was able to find and locate a book that was written by a very reputable source, Nia Shanks, who has a bachelorate in exercise physiology, is a trainer, and is actually very revered for her writings and articles. What I was able to grasp from the book is very similar, with some little changes and, you know, deviations that she put into, which I thought were great. Exactly what I grew up with, which was the instinctive training principle. And for those of you who don't recall or have never heard of instinctive training principles, they were created as one of the principles from this guy right over here. Some of you might recognize him, but he is what is considered to be the great man who brought bodybuilding into the amazing foundation and business that it is today. This is Mr. Joe Weider. And Joe Weider, back when I was a kid, was the beginning and end all of all the training. And in 1981, he wrote this book. And I still remember when I had this book, and I had it on my shelf along with my Arnold Schwarzenegger books and Encyclopedia and Lou Ferrigno, Albert Beckles, everybody, Zane, Frank Zane, and I would pour over them. And instinctive training, which is pretty much identical what the intuitive training philosophies are, except for a few deviations like I mentioned, are the same, and I'm going to explain to you them right now. Okay guys, so intuitive fitness, intuitive exercise, intuitive training, there's all these different ways of calling it. I did some more research. I pulled up a bunch of different articles that were written by various sources, from bodybuildingmagazine.com, from bodybuilding.com, from Shape, from everything. And not surprisingly, everyone had their own unique view on it. Some of them were more structured, saying that you had to understand the percentages of your 1 rep max and working off of the percentages of that, and then understanding your body intuitively on whether you can perform that, and then either going higher or lower, things like that. Some people brought it down to an actual mathematical equation. Some people made it more of a feeling and a flow and just go with the way you feel. And like anything in life, you're going to find such different viewpoints on things. And here's my viewpoint. In the end, intuitive training, like Joe Weider's instinctive training, is being able to understand your body and the way you feel, your energy levels, and realize what you are capable and what you aren't capable of doing for that day. So let's say you had an amazingly just tough workout the other day and your body is just really sore and you are just feeling like it is hard to move. And it comes on to after 48 hours, you're going to go and do this grueling leg and glute squat day along with some shoulders, and you're just dreading it because you don't have the energy and you're just dragging your feet getting to the gym. Well, intuitive training, like instinctive training, would say, hey, well, wait a minute, let's take an assessment of your body and feel it out. If you don't feel like you can really perform this well and you're going to be dragging throughout the whole workout, then you're probably better off not doing it. And you're probably better off going ahead and doing something else, like maybe working a different body part that isn't completely stressed, or maybe doing something completely entirely different. Instead of strength training, maybe doing a little bit of some cardio to kind of flush out all the myoplasms and everything in the bloodstream and all the soreness in the muscle. Some people might even say go do yoga or hot yoga to sweat it out. So intuitive and instinctive training, in the core of it, regardless of all the different viewpoints on it, is understanding and feeling how you are for that day, taking an assessment like a body scan of yourself and saying, okay, well, I'm supposed to do a workout that is this hard, but I only have this much energy. So I think I'm not going to do it, make the better choice and judgment, and kind of flow from there and feel out what you do have the capacity for to do, and maybe do some yoga. Maybe do some hiking instead, which would then work the legs and glutes, but in a more steady fashion outdoors with some fresh air. It would kind of stimulate you a little bit better. And in the core of it, intuitive and instinctive training, just like Joe Weider had back in 1981, is getting to understand your body and your energy levels on a very intimate level that you can understand what you're capable of. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll put up the card right there to click to the episode. I talk about in the very early episodes the 3 things you need to really open up the growth in your body, really be building muscle and really be able to develop it. And one of them is being really in tune with your body and understanding how to maximize every rep rather than, just focusing on finishing the set and finishing the repetitions, but actually counterintuitively of your body, focus on making every rep as hard and as successful as possible, because your body doesn't want to do that. Your body just wants to finish the set. But that's part of being intimate, learning how to get the rhythm of your body, learning how to move graceful with your body, because when you move graceful in your lifts, you have to have a more intimate connection to your muscles rather than just bang something out and just throw it around using momentum. So these are all parts of understanding your body and understanding your energy, and then intuitively or instinctively knowing what you can or cannot do for that day and then making adjustments. That is the core of it. I have one caveat to that though. So the problem I have with intuitive training and instinctive training, while I believe that the ultimate goal is to obtain a level of self-knowledge of body and mind and energy that you can assess yourself and be able to make those answers and determinations as far as how you're going to train for that day on a split decision and really become that intimate with your body. Well, I think that's like the ultimate goal, right? That is what we all want to be able to understand about our body and really be in touch with it. It's really hard to do that. Like, it's super hard to do that. I've been training, doing martial arts, boxing, bodybuilding back in the days when I used to do modeling when I was a young man. I'm close to 50 now. And even now at 48, there are times that you feel like you might not have the energy to do something and you're dragging and it's feeling hard and your body's sore. But when you make yourself do it and you throw on the music and you just dig deep and you find something there, how many times have you done a workout that you just weren't ready to do? You didn't want to go to the gym, but yet it turned out to be one of the best workouts you ever had on the body parts that you're supposed to be working that were so sore. That's where it gets a little hard. Okay, now I'm a big supporter of, if you're really not feeling the energy or the level to do a really grueling workout, then don't do it. I'm a supporter of that. No, do something that's going to be beneficial and positive. Because I'm a big believer in this, guys. Unless you have specific goals, like let's say I'm training an actor getting ready for a TV show role or a movie, or I'm training a musician who's going out on tour and wants to go shirtless with abs, whatever that might be. There's a deadline, there's a date, it has to happen by a certain time. Then yes, there's goals. Stick to a schedule. If you're not feeling it, we modify, but you got to make those goals. But if you're working out and you're like me, who's a father, you're a husband, you are a business owner, you're a leader, you're, a son, you're taking care of all these different things and you're focusing on your business. Working out is about being healthy. It's about being fit of body and mind. It's about creating a positive energy in myself. I'm not necessarily going to sit there and go, I'm going to push myself hard and we're just going to bust through this squat. I'm going to go heavier. In fact, I'm feeling tired, but screw it, we're going to do it. No, if you're living your life to just be the healthiest and fittest you can be, to be a good provider for your kids and your family, and to be the best you can be at work so that you can crush it at work, you can get your hustle on, you can grow your business and make your money, then I'm really big on, hey, don't overexhaust, especially your brain energy. Go do something that's going to be positive. You're feeling yoga? Go do yoga. Because I guarantee you one thing, you're not going to feel disappointed as long as you get in some kind of workout, you get your sweat going, you get the endorphins and you get your brain going, and you're able to think positively about the week, positively about your life, positively about making money and getting business done. That, I think, if you don't have deadlines or goals for a specific reason, is the better way to go. But if you got a deadline, you got to do what you got to do. You got to suck it up and don't be a crybaby about it, and you just got to push through. So while I can see the logic in every one of the writers and articles that are out there as to why they view the certain things, it all comes down to you. What's your personal goal? I don't believe you have to push 100% every time you work out. It depends on your goals, what you're trying to do. So intuitive and instinctive training is, like, I think, above all the different principles of training, and there are a lot of different principles. I mean, we're like 30, 40, 50 different principles, from pyramid sets to forced reps to cheating to everything. In the end, I think instinctive and intuitive training is the highest form, because that's when you know when to use all the other principles in your life correctly. Can you get there? I think some people do. Am I there? I'm probably better off being intuitive with my clients and instinctive about what they should be doing based on their lifestyle and what their goals are and how they're feeling. Every time they walk in, I do an assessment of their body before we even hit the weights than I am of myself. Because we have a tendency to kind of lie to ourselves and trick ourselves on a lot of things. So will I ever get to that point of being dead on intuitive and instinctive? Probably not. I'll make some mistakes here and there, and that's life. But as long as I'm focused on making sure that my clients are doing what's best for their goals, I think that's what matters the most. So when you apply that in your workouts, think about that. First of all, what is your fitness goals? Do you have a deadline? Do you have to be ripped? Do you have to have a 6-pack or an 8-pack if you're gifted? Are you going to be in front of a camera? Are you going to do a photo shoot? Are you going to, or do you just want to be healthy and be ready for Beachbody in the summertime? Assess that first. Look at your timeline, look at your date, then go intuitive and instinctive from there and say, okay, what can I do and what's going to be the most beneficial thing for me to reach that deadline? And so in a nutshell, that's it right there, okay? You're going to have to take a look at what matters most to you, and if you do have a deadline, then you're going to have to work around that instinctively, intuitively, realize that you have a schedule, and you're going to have to meet that schedule, so do the best that you can with what you have, okay? Guys, I hope that helps out with that, because that's definitely a principle that is so vague, because it's about a feeling and an energy and understanding who you are individually, which is different than John, Joe, Lisa, or Michelle, and applying that in your life, but being good about the decisions that you do make. All right? Guys, thanks for coming in. Thanks for tuning in. Again, thanks for being patient for me and me not being able to post for the past 48 hours, the last 2 days, because of an emergency in my family. And everything seems to be better now, so don't worry. I think she's not as injured as we thought it would be, so I'm able to clear my mind and get back to working on this. So I've got 2 more weeks, 14 days. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you like the information that we're providing for you and you're enjoying the show here. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Make me happy, and I'll try to make you happy with putting up more information, Q&A, things like that. But as for right now, hope you're having a happy holiday season, and I'll see you later.